Thank you for waiting. Now we have Vira Savchenko, the sister of the captured pilot Nadiya Savchenko, and we are following what's happening with Nadiya Savchenko, and we do hope that soon she will be liberated. And now Vira will tell us, give us an update on what's happening with Nadiya. Thank you. And the situation, besides, there are court proceedings appointed for the 10th and 11th of November. But there will be another court proceedings tomorrow, and they extended her staying at the institute, clinical institute, for 3 months, and that is what the Russians use when the person gets to psychiatric examination. Then they can keep such a person for 3 more months, not to interrupt the expertise. But I read that the expert analysis, the expert opinion was made, and she was recognized as psychiatrically healthy person. We don't have the Ukrainian lawyers, but Ukrainian lawyers and Russian lawyers do not manage to find some common position in defense. I'm surprised with the position of Russian lawyers, and that is why I'm going to Moscow this week. I'm not afraid that I will be detained there. There was a threat, of course, but I believe the threat was exaggerated, and now I have big hopes that no one will detain me. They will be trying to interrogate me. Are you going alone? No, I'm going together with the Ukrainian lawyer. According to the Criminal Code of Russia, according to Article 51, the relatives cannot give evidence against their evidence. The position is strange of Russian lawyers. Unfortunately, they influenced Nadiya. She wrote the prohibition for Ukrainian lawyers about adding anything to the case. It's not clear. The investigators are requesting for the documents which would confirm that Nadiya is a psychiatrically healthy person, and Nadiya has all these documents because they were taken from the Ministry of Defense. They were translated into Russian. There was notary. The notary certified that, but Russian lawyers are concerned with that because their line of defense is about recognizing her as psychiatrically sick and send her for treatment. But it's a big question whether she will be sent for medical treatment to Ukraine. But such a diagnosis, but the sentence is, yes, this person is guilty, but she's sick, and okay, we'll let her go for treatment, even if she is allowed to go to Ukraine for treatment. This will be bad, especially for the Batkivshina party. And I do not understand the position of Russian lawyers. I want to find some common understanding with them. They were in Kiev yesterday or the day before. Yesterday for 3 days, but they did not want to meet. Ilya Novikov first said that we'll talk. Ilya Novikov is the main lawyer. That's the team of Mark Fakin. Mark Fakin has told me recently that he makes all the decisions and his team is working for him. They were in Kiev. I didn't know that all 3 of them were here. Mark was here. I knew that Ilya Novikov was here. They did not want to meet. That's it. This is a political issue. It has to be resolved in three phases, the political, the legal, and international, in three aspects, and neither one of that should be forgotten, because this is a legal case. Whatever Russian Federation says, but they opened the criminal case, and it will not disappear. Why Russian side spoils relations with the prosecutors and with investigators, we cannot understand. They do not suffer because of that. The defendant, my sister, suffers. It would be good for us to get some expert opinion of lawyer, but maybe you have some information. There's Ukrainian lawyer, Russian lawyer. Nadiya is the citizen of Ukraine who builds the main line of defense. Is it Russian or Ukrainian lawyers in such a situation when there's such a difference in defense? First, there was this team of Mark Fakin. It all happened just in one day. I went from Lugansk to Kiev to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I met with the foundation, open dialogue, and they gave one lawyer, Mark Fakin. That's how decision was made. The sister selected and Nadiya approved. And they started working. There were many contradictions about this candidate. I received a lot of information anonymously and non-anonymously. I do not accuse anyone. My accusations would be incorrect and incompetent. But during, well, all this time has passed, and the person without legal education even can understand things. So I cannot understand. I would like to have both sides come to agreement. Basically, the crime that they say was committed on the territory of Ukraine. Why the investigation is going on the territory of Russia, and Russia does not accept evidence that was collected on the territory of Ukraine. I don't know. Maybe they believe that the evidence had to be collected on some other planet. And I want to discuss it with my sister because, unfortunately, she has very limited access to communication with people. It's just once a week, and only with that team of lawyers, but not with the Ukrainian lawyers. The mother, a few days ago, 10 days ago, she went to Moscow with the lawyer, and Victor asked, can we give your medical certificates to investigators committee? And Nadiya approved that, and he also asked about Russian defense, and Nadiya said, well, but there's no one else, everything's fine, let's continue. And I want to discuss it with Nadiya because, unfortunately, the dialogue with Russian side is impossible for me.
When they were in Kiev, did you meet them? They don't think it is necessary. They do not inform me. Could you tell us, please, what do you want to achieve with your visit to Russia? Whom you want to meet? What are you going to demand? And when do you expect, and whether you expect at all, how realistic it is to return the sister to Ukraine, to get her out of Russia? Well, first of all, I expect to meet my sister in Moscow, and I have questions that I personally have, and to answer her questions, because we have a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, it won't be possible to talk very frankly there. Well, I can dream because when what is being done on the international level, well, Yulia Tymoshenko reported to me. She, according to her plans, was expecting to solve the issue not earlier than January, but the situation fragile. It changes every day, but even the position of defenders are different. I would like not to hamper them, of course, but to see some understanding. But as you see, Mark Fagan does not want this understanding, and he doesn't see a necessity to communicate even with the relatives. If you are not satisfied with the Russian component of the defense, is it realistic to change them? Well, about the change, I'll talk first of all with Nadiya, not about the change, but about the problems that I see. I'll explain the situation to her. She will explain her vision to me, and I hope that the defense has a fruitful dialogue and cooperation. I won't talk about changing the defenders now, because it's not time to talk about this. You know, this had to be done quite some time ago, but we'll see. Maybe we will be able to act without this. Another question, please. The case of Savchenko in the Russian media, is it connected to the case of Sentsov? Do they say that the investigation committee, do they connect these cases? No. Well, in Russian mass media, I get you. I addressed Reuters. There's Zakhar there. He promised to cover this issue in Russian mass media. Well, regrettably, I cannot tell you about the Russian mass media because I do not look closely at them. I do not follow them. Well, they always emphasize that Sentsov, Cherny, and other people who are there, they do emphasize that those are prisoners, political prisoners, that all those cases are within political aspect, but of course we would like not to recognize this in the legal aspect, so that she is not recognized as a mentally ill and is left there for treatment for years. So what is the next stage in Nadia's case? On the 31st of October, there will be a court sit-in session. I don't even imagine what the agenda will be. And the court session where Nadiya has to be present is going to happen on the 10th, 11th of November. I'm going there earlier, and I hope that I will be a frequent guest now in the Russian Federation. However, I would like to remain just a guest. What about Ms. Tymoshenko? I don't know. I can't tell you. I think that there are bigger threats to her there than to myself. I don't know whether this will be clever to go there and whether this will bring any use. Not too much sense in going there. And how is Nadiya? How is her moral state now? There's no connection, communication at all at the moment. The lawyers do not tell when they are going to her. Previously, I could at least pass on letters to her. Now, I know that Nadiya asked something about our family. issues, and this says that she's in a normal mood. I was interested in her emotions and her reaction after the elections. I was running for the parliament as well, and regrettably I don't know anything about this. I would recommend those mass media who are covering this topic after we come back from Moscow, I and Viktor Chepes, on the 4th of November, to approach Viktor for a comment, and he will, in a competent and correct way, with the observation of all lawyers' agreements, will tell you about the case, because I don't have enough information. If we don't have any further questions, thank you very much. Please pass on to Nadiya our words of support. We hope that after you come back, you'll come to the crisis center